Okay, we are complete. Let's get these Central Berkshire Regional School Committee started. This meeting is being audio and video recorded. Motions shown are examples. They may be omitted or amended. We start with the Pledge of Allegiance. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thanks. Roll call, please.
Dr. Kraft-Reese. Here. Charlotte Crane. Here. Dr. Eberwein.
Here.
Todd Emerson.
Here.
Mr. Farella.
Here.
Ellen Ladazori.
Here.
Elizabeth Lounsbury.
Here.
John Mason. Stephen Morantz.
Here.
Elizabeth Oakes.
Here.
Robert Ronzio. Mr. Stewart.
Here.
Sarah Tucker.
Here.
Kimberly Weatherall. Rich Peters.
Here, we have a quorum. There you go. Any responses from the audience? Is there anybody else in the audience besides Sarah? Right?
No, just Sophie.
Anybody in the audience here to speak? Okay, not hearing any. Does anybody have any objection to me moving the appointment of the pediatrician, district pediatrician up to the front? Seeing and hearing none? Okay, so I'd like to get a motion to have that appointment made.
I think it's just the introduction.
Just the introduction? Okay. That's fine, if you want to. Go ahead. Just do it.
I know I'm not going to say, I'm going to try to say your name correctly, but
Gicewicz.
I just want to introduce Dr. Adam Gicewicz, who will be serving as our district pediatrician. He is a pediatrician in Pittsfield, Massachusetts. He is affiliated with Albany Medical Center and Berkshire Medical Center. He received his medical degree from Tulane University School of Medicine, and he's been practicing for over 11 years. I don't know the exact number of years. So if you'd like to say a few words to us, we are pleased that you're here. Thank you for agreeing to serve as our consultant pediatrician, and I'll let you say a few words if you'd like to.
Hi everyone, board members, thank you for inviting me here, I appreciate it. So I am the lead pediatrician at Berkshire Health Pediatrics, which is just down the road in Pittsfield at what used to be Brian Dempsey's office, and then also the lead pediatrician for Berkshire Health Pediatrics at East Elm, which was Dr. John Dalton's office prior to that. I've been just with Pittsfield for the last year and a half or so, but before that I was at Albany. I have a great interest in medical care for school-age children. I serve as medical director for a number of different institutions, and I'm very eager to collaborate with the board members here in the school district and healthcare coordinators in the district to meet the needs of our children. Thank you very much for inviting me.
Thank you for
Thank
coming.
you.
Yeah. You don't need to stay, but you're welcome to. Okay, so first up is is Sophie online? Sophie Alsmaan, the student clerk.
Yes,
Hello,
yes
Sophie.
I am. Hello everybody. So we're going to go back to May 30th, which was Senior Assembly, which was a celebration of the graduating seniors from the class of 2026. As the Wahconah High School Choir, Blood Type Blue, which is the modern band for the school, we got the chance to sing I'll Be There For You from the show Friends. And the keynote speech was done by Mr. Sean Therian, and it was a beautiful, heartfelt speech to our graduating seniors. June 1st was the seniors' graduation, and June 5th, once again, the Wahconah Choir and Concert Band, we had our final concert as we also invited alumni and members of the Apollonian players to come and sing with the choir as well. Monday, June 9th was the freshman step-up day, so current students of Wahconah, they showed upcoming freshmen around the school and the campus in general. June 11th, the juniors of the class of 2026 had their humanities fair yesterday afternoon, in which they were asked to create an inquiry question, then find at least 6 or more sources to prove their inquiry question, whether it is actually true or whether it's correct, and then write a final reflection. So this is just kind of an overview, and I want to give a shout out to all the juniors that participated in this, and we have been doing this for over a month and a half now, and to see it come together was truly, truly special, and it was truly incredible. And then today, then June 12th today, through the 17th is final exams, so 2 exams per day. June 16th is the Evening of Excellence at Wahconah in the Wahconah Auditorium to recognize 9th, 10th, and 11th graders for their academic excellence, their extracurricular clubs, as well as 11th graders are being given scholarships. Me personally, myself, I have been nominated, so we shall have to see how that goes. And last but not least, this is just on a sub note, I want to thank the school committee for allowing me to be your student representative. And Superintendent Blake Davis, I want to wish you a happy retirement, and I wish you all the best past year from the school committee. And so the rest of you have a fantastic summer, and thank you all so much.
Thank you.
Thank you,
Thank you,
Sophie.
Sophie.
Nice work. Nice work at the Humanities Fair, too, by the way. Great job on
Thank
the
you
project.
thank you so much, Great Chair.
It
I
was-
appreciate it.
Yeah, it was really great. I enjoyed that a lot.
Thank you.
Okay. First up is the financial report. We had warrants previously signed, and then gifts, donations, and grants, acceptance of donation to the General Scholarship Fund.
Be it resolved that the Central Berkshire Regional School Committee accepts the following donations of $2,870 to the General Scholarship Fund as recommended by the District Treasurer. It's $100 from Timothy and Deborah Bevan for the Marnie Gallagher Scholarship, $1,570 from Gallagher Family and Friends for the Marnie Gallagher Scholarship, and $150 from the Wahconah Regional Class of 1981 for the Class of 1981 Scholarship. There's $1,000 from Kirk and Brenda Daling for the Mitchell Daling Scholarship, and $50 from Mary Nancy Clary for the James Early Scholarship.
Get a motion. Do I have a second?
Second.
Thank you. Roll call vote, please.
Dr. Kraft Reese?
Yes.
Charlotte Crane?
Yes.
Dr. Eberwein?
Yes.
Todd Emerson?
Yes.
Mr. Farella?
Yes.
Ellen Ladazori?
Yes.
Elizabeth Lounsbury?
Yes.
Stephen Morantz?
Yes.
Elizabeth Oakes?
Yes.
Mr. Stewart?
Yes.
Sarah Tucker?
Yes.
Rich Peters?
Yes, motion carries. Next up, approval of the Wahconah Regional High School Class of 2028 Music Bingo Fundraiser.
Be it resolved that the Central Berkshire Regional School Committee approves a music bingo fundraiser for the class of 2028 to raise money for their class.
Second.
Motion is second. Roll call vote, please.
Dr. Kraft Reese?
Yes.
Charlotte Crane?
Yes.
Dr. Eberwein?
Yes.
Todd Emerson?
Yes.
Mr. Farella?
Yes.
Ellen Ladazori?
Yes.
Elizabeth Lounsbury?
Yes.
Stephen Morantz?
Yes.
Elizabeth Oakes?
Yes.
Mr. Stewart?
Yes.
Sarah Tucker?
Yes.
Rich Peters?
Yes, motion carries. Next up, approval of the Wahconah Regional High School Yearbook Club Clothing Sale Fundraiser.
Be it resolved that the Central Berkshire Regional School Committee approves a clothing sale to raise money to reduce the cost of the yearbooks for students.
Second.
Motion and a second. Roll call, please.
Dr. Kraft Reese?
Yes.
Charlotte Crane?
Yes.
Dr. Eberwein?
Yes.
Todd Emerson?
Yes.
Mr. Farella?
Yes.
Ellen Ladazori?
Yes.
Elizabeth Lounsbury?
Yes.
Stephen Morantz?
Yes.
Elizabeth Oakes?
Yes.
Mr. Stewart?
Yes.
Sarah Tucker?
Yes.
Rich Peters?
Yes, motion carries. Next up, authorization for the treasurer to borrow money in fiscal year 2026.
Be it resolved that the district treasurer is hereby authorized under the provisions of General Laws, Chapter 71, Section 16, Paragraph G, as amended by Chapter 134 of the Acts of 1972, and with approval of the chair of the district committee, to borrow money from time to time in anticipation of revenue for the fiscal year beginning July 1st, 2025, and to issue a note or notes, therefore, payable within 1 year, and to renew any note or notes as may be given for a period of less than 1 year in accordance with Mass General Laws, Chapter 44, Section 17.
Second.
Motion and a second. Any questions on this one? Not seeing any. Roll call vote, please.
Dr. Kraft Reese?
Yes.
Charlotte Crane?
Yes.
Dr. Eberwein?
Yes.
Todd Emerson?
Yes.
Mr. Farella?
Yes.
Ellen Ladazori?
Yes.
Elizabeth Lounsbury?
Yes.
Stephen Morantz?
Yes.
Elizabeth Oakes?
Yes.
Mr. Stewart?
Yes.
Sarah Tucker?
Yes.
Rich Peters?
Yes, motion carries. Next up, the secretary report. Can I get a motion to approve the minutes of the regular meeting of May 22nd, 2025?
So moved.
Second.
A motion and a second. Any discussion on those minutes?
I just have one point.
Yeah.
In the first 5 roll call votes, there's no comma between Mason and Oaks, so someone reading it might think it's one person.
Okay.
How is that?
Dave, you missed that.
I'm trying.
So, did you take a note of that? Okay, so we're going to vote to approve the minutes as amended then. Okay. When they're amended, when Beth gets back. So roll call vote, please.
Dr. Kraft-Reese?
Yes.
Charlotte Crane?
Yes.
Dr. Eberwein?
Yes.
Todd Emerson?
Yes.
Mr. Farella?
Yes.
Ellen Montezori?
Yes.
Elizabeth Lounsbury?
Yes.
Stephen Morantz?
Yes.
Elizabeth Oaks?
Yes.
Mr. Stewart?
Yes.
Sarah Tucker?
Yes.
Rich Peters?
Yes, motion carries. Next up is approval of the executive session minutes from the executive session on May 22nd, 2025.
So we can do that later. We have to go into executive
We have to
session.
go
for
into-
something else.
Right. I was thinking that was the one from, so if anybody has any objection, I'll move the executive session to the end of the process. Okay, all right. Okay, so next up is superintendent's report.
Okay, so good evening, everyone. We're busy wrapping up the end of the school year. There are some events such as Field Day. We're done with statewide assessments, MCAS. They went extremely well. They were smooth, which was a great thing because we had a new platform that we were navigating. Everyone's getting ready for Step Up Day, which is for those students who are moving from one school to another. We have some transitional events for them, which is really important. And they will also have, at the start of the school year, they will have a half day of an orientation so they can kind of get their bearings, which is particularly important if you're transitioning schools. Then next, I do want to say a little bit about some of the people who are retiring this year. I've actually had the good fortune to work with all of them. Val Campbell is an early childhood paraprofessional in our district, extremely dedicated. I worked with her at Beckett Washington School. She worked in our preschool, and if you've ever worked full days with those little ones, it's so important. It really sets their foundation for the rest of their years, and I very much appreciate the work that she's done for us. Maggie Kelleher. Maggie started her career at the elementary school in Cummington. Then she moved from Cummington when the school closed. She moved to Beckett Washington. She's extremely dedicated. She's extremely knowledgeable and skilled. She actually was the first teacher to teach one of our classes at Beckett Washington where we combined grades, and she's done an amazing job with it. So we will miss her. Sean Therian, I've also had the privilege of working with Sean. When I thought a little bit about Sean and how long he's been, I guess, part of our community, it's actually 42 years because he started kindergarten in Central Berkshire. And then when I asked him if my numbers were right, he said, well, actually, he said, I did some work in Central Berkshire while I was in college, so it's actually probably 44. He's been an amazing chemistry teacher. He's been an instructional coach. He has led our drama department. He's done so much, and he really kept alive when you heard Sophie Alsmaan talk about senior assembly when Mr. Bradshaw left us and retired. Sean really picked up senior assembly, which is kind of at the heart of our seniors and their graduation. He really picked that up and sort of made sure that there were student voices in that day. So congratulations to him. Stephen Messina, who I don't know if Aaron Rob's here, but he's Stephen. He's been the vice principal at Wahconah High School for a very long time. He was a teacher at Wahconah High School as well. And as Aaron, I think, said at the graduation, when you're sort of in that more traditional role of being a kind of in charge of discipline and behaviors, you really do, your job is really to form partnerships with families, to really be empathetic, compassionate, and you absorb a lot. And he's been doing this work, was it 17 years, Aaron? How long was he in this?
He, between dean and 8 and assistant principals in 17 years.
it was 17 years. So we will very much miss him. The last person who's retiring is me. I think I did want to just say a couple of words. I did want to say that how much I've appreciated holding the various leadership roles that I have in Central Berkshire, and I've so appreciated working with all of you over the years. There's been, some difficult moments, and, really at the end of the day, you all come to the table, and it's clear that you want what's best for our students. I just can't say enough how grateful I am for that. I work with an incredible team of educators. I can tell you that. I've just finished kind of closing out everyone's evaluations and having conversations with our administrative team, and it's really truly a privilege. I see this position from my perspective is really, I think that at its core, it's service leadership. It has truly been an honor to serve this community, and I just want to thank you. A couple of things, just a couple of people have asked me, so I'll kind of say, what's next steps for me. I do want to say, though, that I am so pleased that I'm leaving you in such great hands. It's just, you're going to have a great team. On my end, this has taken way longer than I wanted to, but August 13th, I have a dissertation defense date. So I'll be doing that. And then I will be a visiting scholar at the University of Stirling in Scotland. My dissertation and defense work is really focused on leadership in rural communities. So I've had an opportunity to spend a semester there, continue my leadership, and do some comparative studies and comparative work. They're just, they're interested in all of us. They're interested in what it looks like for us in a rural community. They want to know what it looks like here, and I want to know. I'm very curious. I want to continue to be a learner. If I say that lifelong learning is truly my goal, I want to live it, and I've been very fortunate in that I will be able to continue to do that. So thank you.
Thank you.
Next on the agenda is I'm going to turn it over to Dr. Hinault, who's your incoming superintendent. He is going to update us on the principal search for Wahconah High School.
Okay, so we just about a half an hour ago ended our first round of interviews. We have a very engaged and committed committee. There's 15 members. That's very well representative of the Wahconah community. We did a survey of staff. We had over 50% completion in the response rate to our survey. We also did a family survey and analyzed those results and have been using those to frame our conversations. We narrowed down our selection from an original pool of, I believe, 11 applicants to 4 for interviews, and we're now in the process of gathering feedback from the committee based on their first round of interview, which will be due tomorrow. And so our evaluation of the first round candidates will be tomorrow afternoon, and we have another meeting scheduled for Monday to talk about next steps as far as site visits. It's we're up against the end of the year, obviously. It's a tough time to do a complete site visit, but we have some ideas, and the search committee is going to weigh in on that path on Monday, and by Tuesday we should have a formal announcement of our next steps.
And I do not have anything else.
Yeah, well, you're not done yet. You have the rest of the meeting to go through.
No, my report, and I don't have anything else.
Okay, so next up is myself. So first up is the recognition for 25 years of service for the school committee, years of service, and school committee member recognition for 24 years of service. So Leslie, if you would please do the
Yeah,
honors.
I'm more than happy to do this. So the first award or recognition I want to present is Mary Kay McCluskey, but hear me out, Mary Kay, before you walk up. She's been a close colleague of mine since I've been at Central Berkshire. I think that principal jobs and principal roles are not easy. I think there's sort of those principal roles in our more rural districts. You wear a lot of hats. And I think one of the things that Mary Kay does that's really outstanding is she really truly looks at every single student, and she looks at their needs, and she thinks long and hard about, you know, how they can be successful and what they need to be successful. And then in turn, as we know, like, we need to put our students first, but in order to put our students first, we also need to think carefully and closely about what our teachers need to support our students and to put them first. And she does that. And she's established a wonderful culture and community at Beckett, Washington. So congratulations, Mary Kay.
Thank you. Here's to the next 25.
Right. And the next one I had to write down because there's just so many things I could say. So I had to think about the big ones and the most important ones. And this is someone, as many of you know, Dick Locatell has been a long-standing school committee member. I was trying to think really hard about, like, really what's been at the heart of his service. And what I really came up with is that if you think about students, families, educators, town government, that's really always been at the forefront of his advocacy. I've always appreciated his attention to detail. He would find things and I didn't see them, but Dick always found them and he always saw them, and it was actually a good thing, and I think he did it because he also at the same time had the big picture at heart. Like, it's not always easy to make sure you're looking at the details, but at the same time you have the big picture. His institutional knowledge goes without saying. For me personally, he was always there to offer words of wisdom just right from the get-go. To help me better understand context. And context, if you're in my role and you're making high-stakes decisions, is really important. And I just want to thank him so much for his service to our district and our community.
I'd like to add a few things before we give the applause. I'm here because of Dick Locatell. It's his fault, actually. But I have enjoyed every bit of it, but Dick is not done yet. As I said to Leslie, I still lean on Dick constantly, and he's always there to answer the phone. Because his institutional knowledge is so good, and you know, I'm new at this game, and I just call on Dick regularly. And every time he answers the phone, I say, "Dick, is it okay to talk now?" And he's like, "Okay." And we end up talking for quite a bit. So I'm still leaning on him. So his job isn't done yet, but I want to thank him for all the service he's done for me and for the community. Thank you, Dick. Okay. Next up is we have the delegates to the MASC-MASS Joint Conference. You want to read the motion and we can talk about it?
Be it resolved that the following members,
We need the names for the...
when we get the names, will represent the Central Berkshire Regional School Committee at the annual MASC-MASS Joint Conference, November 12th through the 24th, 14th, 12th to the 14th, shorter conference, 2025.
So if you remember this is an annual conference. Some of you have gone to it. I've gone to it several times. I will go again. Dave's gone to it. I don't know if anybody wants to volunteer. I highly recommend going if you have the time to take and go. It's incredibly, there's a lot to learn there and a lot to take in, and it's really valuable time spent if you can spend that time. So if anybody's interested in going, let us know. If not, anybody here right now want to put their name up to go? Oh, I see several, okay. We got
I'd be
Liz.
honest, I can't say positively that I can definitely do it.
So when we get closer, you can do it, so you can sign up as you want to go, and Charlotte would like to go as well?
Yeah, but if you, I'm
Well, we got
happy
two
as long as
people,
a-
and one to be voting, and we can
Yeah.
have, Dave's interested in going, I'm interested in going. We can have you two as the names, as start, you want to be the voting, seeing have you been there before?
Sure.
You could be the voting delegate, and you could be the backup. So we'll put you guys' names down as those, so we'll read those names, and then Dave and I will be back up if anybody else wants to go as well, so.
And then I know some districts send more school committee members and whatnot, so
Yeah.
other people can go and be part of the
Yes.
conference, but
You
just
can.
not vote.
It's not restricted to this, right?
Correct.
Yeah,
Okay.
for sure. So,
Okay, so then we would have, as a voting delegate, would be Charlotte Crane, and the alternate voting delegate would be Liz Lounsbury. Correct?
yes.
Okay.
Okay, any discussions, concerns, questions of that?
Just need a second.
What's that? Yeah, we need a second. Thank you for the second. There we go. Thank you, Rick. Okay, roll call vote, please.
Dr. Kraft-Reese,
Yes.
Charlotte Crane,
Yes.
Dr. Eberwein,
Yes.
Todd Emerson,
Yes.
Mr. Farella,
Yes.
Ellen Ladazori,
Yes.
Elizabeth Lounsbury,
Yes.
Stephen Morantz,
Yes.
Elizabeth Oakes,
Yes.
Mr. Stewart,
Yes.
Sarah Tucker,
Yes.
Rich Peters.
Yes, okay, motion carries. Next up on my agenda is a school committee self-evaluation. Annual self-evaluation, will be sending that out. Please take the time to survey and give us the feedback that we need to make sure we do things better. We always improve, right? Constant improvement. So I'll be sending that out in the next couple weeks, okay? And update on the revised regional agreement. The good news is, I think you saw the note from Leslie that Peru passed the regional agreement. So essentially, we do want to keep moving forward and get that on the warrants for Covington, Windsor, and Dalton. And when those meetings happen, we'll send some notes out. Hopefully, we can recruit people to get out there and get it done. If we can get the rest of those three towns to pass it. Dalton and Windsor already did last year, but we're gonna have them do it again this year, make sure we're within a year. And then Covington is the one where we want to hope we can get them to pass it this year, so. No pressure, Todd.
It's on the warrant, Article 4,
And what's the date on that, the 27th?
June 26th.
June 26th. So, yeah, so that hopefully we can get them to pass it, and we might get a new regional agreement.
How far in
Todd,
advance?
What's that?
How far in advance does it have to be put onto?
10 days, I believe it is?
It's
Or-
2
no,
weeks, 2 weeks
no,
for a
2
special town meeting and 7 days for an annual town meeting for
Okay.
warrant articles.
Because I was just going to mention that June 26th is also the date of a Dalton special town
Yeah.
meeting already, so I didn't know if you were able to get it on that or not.
Liz?
I just looked at Dalton, but I didn't see their.
We are not at Dalton's.
either.
Yeah.
So we'll have to wait for another special town meeting in Dalton and get it on there. It's all right. I have confidence Dalton will pass, hopefully, and by that time we'll know whether it's needed. I mean, Covington is the key one, because Windsor and Dalton already passed it as it is, and if we can get Covington to pass it, we'll be in great shape for getting it done. That'll be awesome. I do know, I think I mentioned this before, but Russ was telling me that our lawyer works for another district, and they have been operating a regional district without an agreement for 25 years. They keep trying to get it to pass, and they haven't been able to get it passed. So hopefully we can get it done in a couple years, and that would be really nice. Well, 5 years. David's been working on it for 5 years. Hopefully we can get that done and get it passed. That would be really a huge accomplishment for sure, obviously. So.
Todd, I'm just trying to find the information. Do you know the time and location of that?
It's at the community house, I think 7 o'clock.
Okay. So next up is the committee report. So first up is curriculum.
Good evening, everybody. Curriculum met this past Monday at 7:30 on Zoom. The only agenda item we had was discussion of the cheerleaders' annual overnight field trip to cheer camp. This year, it's from August 7th through August 10th at UMass Amherst. Last year, they went to one in Pennsylvania. This year, they were able to find one here in the state of Massachusetts, and Nikki DeMassimo, the cheer coach, was really excited about that, so the girls would get to know some of the other cheerleaders that they would be cheering against at sporting events and in competition. The chaperones will be Nikki and her assistant coach, Brittany. Coaches will provide the transportation. They're assuming about 7 to 10 cheerleaders will be going. Cost per person is about $535, but they're going to have all air-conditioned dorms, and the cheer camp will be indoors this year, not unlike last year, so there will be no weather issues if it rains. And there will be fundraising in July and August, raffle tickets, and to try to offset the cost for each of the girls or each of the cheerleaders. A portion also of the Dalton Carnival proceeds from their tent there with their selling of tickets and the taco in a bag will be going to also offset the cost. They will be meeting with the school nurse once they have the set roster of all the cheerleaders for next year. And then the camp is a one staff member to 10 cheerleaders at the camp, which is a really good ratio. And I believe Nikki was going to be online if anybody had any questions, but I think she was actually downstairs with the cheerleaders right now. So I'll do my best to answer any questions, but we approve this every year, so.
You want to read the motion?
Sure. Be it resolved that the Central Berkshire Regional School Committee approve an overnight field trip for the Wahconah cheerleaders to the UCA Cheer Camp at UMass Amherst, Massachusetts, August 7th through 10th, 2025, as recommended by the Curriculum Subcommittee.
Second.
Motion and second. Any questions, concerns? Okay, roll call vote, please.
Dr. Kraft-Reese?
Yes.
Charlotte Crane?
Yes.
Dr. Eberwein?
Yes.
Todd Emerson?
Yes.
Mr. Farella?
Yes.
Ellen Ladazori?
Yes.
Elizabeth Lounsbury?
Yes.
Steve Morantz?
Yes.
Elizabeth Oakes?
Yes.
Mr. Stewart?
Yes.
Sarah Tucker?
Yes.
Rich Peters?
Yes, motion carries.
And our next meeting will be, it will be in August. We haven't selected a date yet. Figured we'll get through, everyone's vacations in July. But we are assuming we'll be talking about the final code of conduct for the elementary schools, an update on the student handbooks, and an update on graduation requirements for the high school. And it was an 11-minute meeting, so I think that might be a record.
Excellent, thank you. Next up is finance.
Hello, everybody. Finance met on June 3rd. We met with Tom Scanlon of Scanlon & Associates. He reviewed his audit of the Central Berkshire fiscal year 2024 financials. Per his comments, everything was properly documented. Our grant management and reporting is excellent. Overall, in his direct quote was, "We have a boring balance sheet," which is a really good thing to have with accounting. We are ahead of several other districts in regards to OPEB. Our E&D looked good. He pointed out one area that was our investment income was high, which was atypical, but that this is in line with most other districts in 2024. He did state he would recommend the district continue to be conservative with our revenue projections, but mentioned again that we did have strong financial controls in place. The only concern he had is one that we echo around state and federal grants, as a large portion of our funding comes from there. Everybody's in that bucket. Director of Finance and Operations, Greg, reviewed the fiscal year 2025 Q3 financial reports. Everything was on track. Our expenditures are lower at 68% versus the expectation of 75% for Q3, but this is due primarily to summer pay not yet being paid out. Some other items, mold remediation was expensive. We should hear an update at some point soon, I believe, on if we will get any compensation for that. Going forward, our E&D will be lower than it was last year, but we knew that. Overall, we are where we expected to be. Our next meeting is planned for July 22nd at 6:30, and as of now, topics are to be determined, unless you have anything.
End of year stuff, so end of year transfers, and then transportation revolving, if we deposit any money into that. So,
I just want to give a shout out to our Director of Finance for having, I think it's his third year in a row with no findings in an audit. That's actually pretty amazing. And it's such a large district with so many accounts. You're doing a great job, Rick. Thank you very much for your work. All right, next up is policy.
Actually, we have one more thing on there.
sorry.
So we did not talk about this at finance, but it's the retainer for Madame Dupre. We did get that on Monday of this week. There is no change in the financials of it. I believe he changed one line item.
He added a clause that classifies him as a municipal employee, or it's an ethics clause, for a
Yes.
conflict of interest clause that was in there.
That was the only change, but he kept his monthly retainer the same. So I'm hoping to get a, since it's June and that starts in July, that's if we got approval.
Do we have a motion?
Yes, it's in the packet.
It's not in this.
Yeah.
It was the one Beth sent out later. Reading it?
It's not in the.
Oh, I can read it, absolutely. Okay,
She's got it.
I have
All
it.
right.
Be it resolved that the Central Berkshire Regional School Committee approves the retainer for FY 2026 for General Legal Counsel, Dupre Law Office.
Second.
Okay, motion and a second. Any discussion on this? Roll call vote, please.
Dr. Kraft-Reese?
Yes.
Charlotte Crane?
Yes.
Dr. Eberwein?
Yeah.
Todd Emerson?
Yes.
Mr. Farella?
Yes.
Ellen Ladazori?
Yes.
Elizabeth Lounsbury?
Yes.
Stephen Morantz?
Yes.
Elizabeth Oakes?
Yes.
Mr. Stewart?
Yes.
Sarah Tucker?
Yes.
Rich Peters?
Yes, motion carries. We're missing Beth. Her presence, her lack of presence was just felt. Okay, now next up is, are we done with finance?
Yes.
Yeah, I thought so. Okay, now next up is policy.
So we met last Wednesday for a little bit longer than 11 minutes. And we began our review of Section G, which we hope to complete at our next meeting, along with potentially the shortest section, which I believe only has 4 policies in it, Section H. And that will take place July 2nd at the central office at 6:30. I will bring this up later, but Jake has stepped away from the policy subcommittee because he is busy doing many other things. But we are having a bit of a hard time getting quorum, and so, like I said, I will be making a motion under new business to add Rich as a voting member rather than just ex officio.
Okay.
That's it.
All right, next up is personnel. We are going to have to do an executive session, so I said let's move that to the end of the meeting. So let's keep going with the committees. Yeah, I think we got to do the executive session first for the MOU.
Oh, yeah,
So that's going to be after that. So next up is safety and wellness.
Safety and Wellness haven't met since the last school committee meeting, and we're looking to meet hopefully end of June or early July.
Okay. Building project, I have not heard back from Bar and Bar yet. I will rattle their chain again next week. The good news is that their insurance company is working on it. So I think that means we will get some compensation for the mold remediation. Just don't know what that will look like yet, and whether or not we need to engage legal or not. Okay, next up is the regional agreement, which I did mention what happened there. I don't know if you have anything else to add about it.
No, I would just confirm the Cummington meeting is the 26th at 7 o'clock at the community house.
Okay.
Thank you.
How are we communicating with Dalton to get this on the meeting? Who's doing that?
Well, I think the administration will have Beth send it to them, we'll just have to keep an eye out for, or let them know that next time they have a special town meeting.
It won't happen for this meeting. No, I realize that.
We did send it to Dalton to include.
I thought we
Wait,
did.
We sent something to Dalton to include it, and then actually Dick reached out and CC'd us and asked them to include it. They did not, but, so that'll be, the new administrative team to like really, and Rich to really be on top of that, because I think they'll pass it. I don't think there's going to be an issue. It's just, they've already passed it once, so it's just a matter of making sure it gets on.
Well, I don't mean to make this more complicated, but we have this year thing going on. If they don't have a meeting until October, do we then compromise other towns who passed it? I don't know what the timing on all this is.
Actually, that is just a guideline. It's not a, there's nothing in the law.
Okay.
It makes sense to do it, and, it's almost like a courtesy to do it within a year, but it's not, there's no language around it having to be done in a year. But with that said, the towns passed it in June, so technically within a year, we got till next June, right? So we just want to make sure we have those 3 towns left. We're on the warrant in Covington. Any special town meeting that comes up for Windsor and Dalton, we want to make sure we're on those warrants.
The
Yeah.
Dalton, the 26th, the meeting has been posted and the warrant been put out there this time.
And they did,
I don't think they've put their warning out yet for the, have they? For the
Oh,
26th?
yeah.
I don't
They
know.
already had
It
to
has to
change
be out
it.
there.
I don't know.
I think
No,
they did.
did they? Okay. No, I don't know. We were checking very carefully. Sorry, no,
it
we
might
were
be good that we're
checking.
not on that.
No, we were checking very carefully for
Somewhat
this
true.
last one, because we're hoping it was on this last one, to be honest with you.
Yeah. Okay.
Um,
Yeah.
I just want to let you know that Windsor was planning on waiting until after Covington and Dalton voted, but Dalton is pushing things off. I might try to nudge them to go a little bit sooner, because they do have a special town meeting in July, I believe.
Okay. Well, we want to be on it if they're.
I'll tell them to do
Yeah, because
it, right?
Peru passed, that's really that was the big one. And Covington next too, so.
Well, they wanted to wait for Covington specifically.
Oh, yeah,
because
okay.
Covington was the one
Yeah.
that didn't vote for it
Right.
last time.
Yeah. No, that's good. Thanks, Liz.
Right?
Thanks. All right, next up is Superintendent Evaluation Ad Hoc.
Okay. Well, good evening, everybody. Our work for this year is completed, and I wanted to thank the committee for doing all of the hard work with us. So Liz and Charlotte, thank you so much. Kim was also a member of our team. And most importantly, I wanted to thank Leslie for meeting with us quarterly and providing us with all the evidence to support the end result. So thank you very much. So overall, Liz created this wonderful.
It's like, I don't know what you're talking about.
She did this great spreadsheet. I did a spreadsheet too, but it really showed my elementary level of knowledge in spreadsheets. So we didn't even put it up on the screen, but we just used lists. But obviously the information was all the same because we inputted from everybody who provided us with information. There were 6 of us who provided us information. So I'm going to read to you the results, and here it goes. Superintendent Blake Davis has completed another successful cycle at CBRSD. Based on submitted evaluations by school committee members, as well as regular meetings with the superintendent and the ad hoc superintendent evaluation committee, it was determined that Leslie has earned the rating of exemplary for the period of spring of 2023 to spring of 2025. She has managed the district in an ethical and fiscally responsible manner, as evidenced by the evaluation's supporting data. She has communicated well with the families and staff, embracing the new Parent Square system. The superintendent communicates with towns via budget presentations and town meetings. She's extremely visible at school functions. Student learning is a priority, and that serves as a foundation for all decisions. During her time as superintendent, work has been done on the Portrait of a Graduate, an updated and relevant district strategic plan, and district work on diversity, equity, inclusion, and belonging. Reflective administrators, such as Superintendent Blake Davis, understand the need to reflect and review initiatives. Instructional leadership teams and walkthroughs have worked to create high standards with progress being monitored regularly. Professional development has been targeted and in concert with the strategic plan and district improvement plan. The superintendent has delegated tasks when appropriate to other district leaders. This has served to be most effective as internal personnel have moved into new positions. This is a credit to the superintendent's implementation of district-wide actions for recruiting, hiring, and retaining an effective workforce who share similar values. Communication has been an area of much growth for Leslie, as evidenced by the comments of many and in comparison to the past. Hopefully more families will participate so that community engagement and stakeholder interest can be maximized. Having 7 unique towns with whom to communicate will likely continue to present challenges for leaders in our district. Congratulations, Leslie, on your retirement. You are leaving our district in a better place and in very capable hands. Your collaborative work with our new superintendent and the entire administrative team will allow Dr. Hinault to be ready and able to continue the district's positive trajectory. So, thank you, and we're going to be meeting again in September, giving Mike the summer off to get his feet wet, and then we're going to start the process all over again. So, I thank you very much, Leslie. It was a wonderful system. We do, we reflected on the template that we had, and we know that we have to make some changes, and we will. And but overall, I think it was a much better system for those that participated. So thank you.
I appreciate it. Thank you.
Sure. So I would like to make be it resolved that the Central Berkshire Regional School Committee accepts the completed superintendent evaluation as recommended by the Superintendent Evaluation Ad Hoc Committee.
Second.
Motion and a second. Any discussion, questions? Seeing none, hearing none. Roll call vote, please.
Dr. Kraft-Reese?
Yes.
Charlotte Crane?
Yes.
Dr. Eberwein?
Yes.
Todd Emerson?
Yes.
Mr. Farella?
Yes.
Ellen Ladazori?
Yes.
John Meeson? I'm sorry, Elizabeth Lounsbury?
Yes.
Stephen Morantz?
Yes.
Elizabeth Oakes?
Yes.
Mr. Stewart?
Yes.
Sarah Tucker?
Yes.
Rich Peters?
Yes, motion carries. You done?
I'm done. Thank you very much.
Okay, so let's go back to personnel, and we have to go into executive session. So if you...
Do you want to do the old business remarks while everybody's here before we kick them out?
Oh, okay. Are there any old business? New business?
Yes. I move that we elect Rich Peters as a voting member of the policy subcommittee.
Second.
Motion and a second. Any discussion on this? Okay, so what this means is that normally I just attend and I'm not a voting member. To build up to take Jake's place to build a quorum up. I attend them anyway, so now I'll be a voting member if he passes. So roll call vote, please.
Dr. Kraft-Reese?
Yes.
Charlotte Crane?
Yes.
Dr. Eberwein?
Yes.
Todd Emerson?
Yes.
Mr. Farella?
Yes.
Ellen Ladazori?
Yes.
Elizabeth Lounsbury?
Yes.
Stephen Morantz?
Yes.
Elizabeth Oakes?
Yes.
Mr. Stewart?
Yes.
Sarah Tucker?
Yes.
Rich Peters?
Abstain. Thanks, I think. Okay, we'll hold off on remarks for the good committee after we come back from because several things, but after we come back from executive session. So we'll go for executive session now, if you want to read that motion.
Sure, let me find that. Be it resolved that the Central Berkshire Regional School Committee goes into executive session at 7:53 p.m. in pursuant to Mass General Law, Chapter 30A, Section 21A3, to discuss strategy for negotiations with CBEA teachers and paraprofessionals unit, for which the chair has declared an executive session is necessary to protect the bargaining position of the committee, and to reconvene in open session at the conclusion of the executive session.
So,
Second.
okay, motion is second. Any concerns, questions? Okay, roll call vote, please.
Do you mind just adding 2 and 3? Because we're going to be approving minutes that fall under 2.
All right.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
If you just add 2 to your,
Let me go back to,
I think you said 3 because we're talking about teachers, but
we said 3, and let me go back to the, let me find those one. And 2.
and it should be 2.
Gifts, donations, hold on, I'll get there. That is also Mass General Law, Chapter 30A, Section 21A7.
It's not 7. It should be 2.
I'm just.
I know.
A2.
7 has to do with state aid. 7
A2,
has to do with state aid,
anyone.
so.
There's another typo.
A2. All right, I hope Beth is enjoying her vacation. So we are Chapter 30A, Section 21A2 and 3.
Beautiful.
As moved.
Thank you.
Okay. All right. Now, roll call vote, please.
Dr. Kraft-Reese?
Yes.
Charlotte Crane?
Yes.
Dr. Eberwein?
Yeah.
Todd Emerson?
Yes.
Mr. Farella?
Yes.
Ellen Latazori?
Yes.
Elizabeth Lounsbury?
Yes.
Stephen Morantz?
Yes.
Elizabeth Oakes?
Yes.
Mr. Stewart?
Yes.
Sarah Tucker?
Yes.
Rich Peters?
Okay, so we're going into executive session.
Do we have to vote on the approving the minutes?
And
In
the
open
MOU.
session?
Yeah.
Yes.
And releasing
Vote,
them?
right.
Okay, so.
This is back from the Secretary's report,
Yeah,
approval
so-
of executive minutes. So can I get a motion for approval of executive session minutes from executive session on May 22nd, 2025?
Approval and release.
Approval and release.
So moved. Second.
Motion and a second. Roll call, any discussion? Roll call vote, please.
Dr. Kraft-Reese?
Yes.
Charlotte Crane?
Yes.
Dr. Eberwein?
Yes.
Todd Emerson?
Yes.
Mr. Farella?
Yes.
Ellen Latazori?
Yes.
Elizabeth Lounsbury?
Yes.
Stephen Morantz?
Yes.
Elizabeth Oakes?
Yes.
Mr. Stewart?
Yes.
Sarah Tucker?
Yes.
Rich Peters?
Yes, motion carries. So the next one is the approval of MOU specialist summer rates.
Be it resolved that the Central Berkshire Regional School Committee approves the MOU for specialist summer rates.
Second.
Motion and a second. Any discussion, further discussion on this? Okay. Roll call vote, please.
Dr. Kraft-Reese?
Yes.
Charlotte Crane?
Yes.
Dr. Eberwein?
Yes.
Todd Emerson?
Yes.
Mr. Farella?
Yes.
Ellen Latazori?
Yes.
Elizabeth Lounsbury?
Yes.
Stephen Morantz?
Yes.
Elizabeth Oakes?
Yes.
Mr. Stewart?
Yes.
Sarah Tucker?
Yes.
Rich Peters?
Yes, motion carries. Okay, just wrapping up the personnel subcommittee, I just want to give you guys an update. The contract negotiations are moving on really, really well. We have, the paras is going to, the contract language is being developed by both the legal representative for us and the legal representative for the union. I don't foresee any challenges there. It's really coming out really well, and the teachers are moving along really well as well. We're at the point almost where we're going to, again, bring the lawyers in to develop the language around everything that we've settled on, that we've talked about. But the paras are going to vote, I think, before the end of this
They're hoping to,
school
yeah.
year. Yeah, to get it done. The teachers, the contract isn't up until August, so we have the summer to go through and work on that. But anyways, things are going along really well. The whole process has been a problem-solving exercise, and I haven't said this in the meetings yet there, but I feel like we've developed basically a spreadsheet of challenges that some are contractual, some are just, hey, can we fix this process? And you have a whole list of things that we can work on to both help the teachers, do their work better. And I think it's a really excellent process the way it worked out. I'm really glad we went through that, and it's really coming along really well. So just as an update for the rest of you on that piece. Any questions about the contract negotiations? All right, so the last piece is remarks of the good of the committee. I think we have a few. Anybody else has a? If you don't, I have some. You want to go?
Okay. I wanted to thank the, Berkshire Taconic Community Foundation gave a grant from the Seven Towns Educational Enrichment Program for some students at Kittredge to attend. It was some funding for a STEM camp that students were nominated for. So I wanted to thank them. Mr. Marshall, Howard Marshall, put the grant together and got it for us, and PTG helped disperse that. So thanks to everybody.
Okay. So I have a couple, which I'd like to say that all the senior events, you know, if you guys have an opportunity, even though you might not be, they're really excellent. The senior assembly is just a terrific event, and this year, Sean Therion's, I thought, you know, Sean Therion, this kind of seems odd to have a keynote speaker, Sean Therion, but his keynote speech was excellent, really heartfelt, and a great message to the kids. I was kind of shocked to hear that he's going back to college, Culinary Institute of America, to be a chef. And I think he said he was going to live in the dorms with the students, and I'm like, what? But maybe...
They have non-traditional floors.
Right, hope so. I thought that was pretty interesting. But yeah, so that and graduation was phenomenal. It was really great. It's such a privilege to honored to be there handing those out. So if you don't know, the chair gets to give out the diplomas, which is really a fun job for me. So I appreciate that. But anyways, it was great. And last, Jake, I think you have something to get. Yes, it's your tip off. I want to thank and honor Leslie for her service to the district. We took a collection up and we got a nice going away gift and some parting words. I would just say that it was said earlier, but the work you've done for the district over the years, from teacher to superintendent. Is you should be proud of what you've done here. And Barbara said it as well, but you've left us in a really good place. I mean, we're in a brand new school. We almost got a regional agreement. I mean, you started a lot of great programs, Portrait Graduate. I think you can be proud of what you've done and feel comfortable that you're leaving us in a really good spot. And thank you for leaving us in that spot.
Thank you so much.
We wish you luck and fun on your next adventures.
I've got adventures for sure.
Thank you.
Thank
you. Anybody else?
I just want to, we've been connected for a while, and as much as we've had our moments together, and I appreciate that, I have such high regard for you and what you've navigated during your tenure here, this building project. Anyone who made it, any superintendent who made it through COVID and navigated that chaos, deserves an immense credit. And then the last thing I'll just say is that reputationally, this district feels like it's in a really good spot. And it's in a very high spot. And as I travel the county in Western Mass, people talk very positively about this district right now, whether it's the culture or the students or the opportunities. I really feel like a lot of that needs to be reflected back to you and the work you've done, during your tenure. So
Thank you.
Congratulations and thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
And good luck and have fun in the future.
I will build on that a little bit, and I've said this to you before, that I think, leadership, the way you lead, bleeds down into the organization. And this organization, it's just going into the admin and the admin team, it's like a family. And that everybody's really close and they work together well. It's just, and that speaks to your leadership and how you lead as a member of a team. And you've done a great job.
Like I said, I just feel fortunate. I mean, I've never gotten up in the morning and questioned why I'm doing what I'm doing. I mean, I feel good about going to work. I've got an incredible team. You can't do it without a team.
No.
You cannot do it without a team, I will say that. I rely on them, and they do an amazing job. And I'm just thrilled that they're about who they are and who all of you are, because it's not, there's me, but there's that collective efficacy piece, and I have been very lucky, and I know it, so thank you.
Yeah. Well, good luck in your adventures.
Thank you.
Yeah. Okay, anything else? Can I get a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
Your last roll call vote, please. Did I get a second? I didn't hear a second.
Dr. Kraft Reese,
Yes.
Charlotte Crane,
Yes.
Dr. Eberwein, Todd Emerson,
Yes.
Mr. Farella,
Yes.
Ellen Ladazori,
Yes.
Elizabeth Lounsbury,
Yes.
Stephen Morantz,
Yes.
Elizabeth Oakes,
Yes.
Mr. Stewart,
Yes.
Sarah Tucker,
Yes.
Rich Peters.
Yes, meeting adjourned. Or,
Adjourned.
is it supposed to be adjourned? Yeah, because it's adjourned.